we expected more traditional cyber attacks like phishing and malware and hacking, and we identified those and notified the right people.
Even as children, we often get asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? But for many of us, that is a lifelong journey. How can you find your purpose and achieve success? Finding your purpose isn't enough in itself. You need to create a world in which everyone has a sense of purpose. No matter what position you are in, you can help create something bigger than yourself. You are needed and have something bigger and better to work towards. You can't always rely on technology, work, or community for happiness. It's up to you to go out and discover it.
You are graduating into a world that needs purpose.
Most of the progress that happens comes from individual people that have been given a voice, not the earth-shattering events that we hear so much about. The more you share your voice, the more change you can make in your own life, and the more progress you can achieve. Don't concentrate on the divisiveness that can come from striving for personal gain, but rather coming together to share ideas. You live in a world that needs purpose, but can you be the person who brings it about? Regardless of your beginnings or your current situation, maintain your own sense of purpose and do your part to help move the world forward. Don't worry so much about focusing on what is going to make other people happy. Create something that has value to you and let your passion show itself through your work. The odds are that by building on an idea that you find useful, others will eventually find it useful as well. Sometimes the big picture can get in the way of what you are doing at the moment. If you set out to give yourself purpose, those around you will see that purpose as well.
You're going to be able to video chat one-on-one or with groups. You're going to be able to minimize the video while you're...
Today, I want to talk about purpose. But I'm not here to give you the standard commencement about finding your purpose. We're millennials. We try to do that instinctively. Instead, I'm here to tell you that finding your purpose isn't enough. The challenge for our generation is to create a world where everyone has a sense of purpose. One of my favorite stories is when JFK went to go visit the NASA Space Center and he saw a janitor holding a broom and he asked him what he was doing, and the janitor replied, "Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon." Purpose is that feeling that you are a part of something bigger than yourself, that you are needed, and that you have something better ahead to work for. Purpose is what creates true happiness. And you are graduating at a time when this is especially important. When our parents graduated, that sense of purpose reliably came from your job, your church, your community. But today, technology and automation are eliminating many jobs. Membership in a lot of communities has been declining, and a lot of people are feeling disconnected and depressed and are trying to fill a void in their lives.
And it taught me the lesson that while a lot of the world often focuses on the big events and institutions, the bigger story is that most progress in our lives actually comes from individuals having more of a voice. So since then, I've focused on building services that do two things: give people a voice and bring people together. And these two simple ideas of voice and inclusion go hand in hand. And we've seen this throughout history, even if it doesn't always seem that way today. More people being able to share their experiences and perspectives has always been necessary to build a more inclusive society. And it is our commitment to each other that we hold each other's right to express ourselves and be heard above our own desire to always get our way in every debate. That's how we make progress together. But this view is increasingly being challenged. Now, some people believe that giving more people a voice is driving division rather than bringing people together. More people across the spectrum believe that achieving the political outcomes that they think matter is more important than every person having a voice and being heard.
Class of 2017, you are graduating into a world that needs purpose, and it's up to you to create it. Now, maybe you're asking yourself, can I really do this? Well, remember when I told you about that class I taught at the Boys and Girls Club? One day after class, I was talking to my students about going to college, and one of my top students raised his hand and said that he wasn't sure he could go to college because he's undocumented. He wasn't sure if they'd take him. Last year, I took him out to breakfast for his birthday, and I wanted to get him a gift, so I asked him what he wanted, and he just started talking about struggles that he saw other students in his class facing, and finally said, I'd really just like a book on social justice. I was blown away. Here is a young guy who has every reason to be cynical. He wasn't sure if the country he calls home, the only one he's known, was going to deny him his dream of going to college. But he wasn't feeling sorry for himself. He wasn't even thinking of himself. He has a greater sense of purpose, and he's going to bring people along with him. It says something about our situation today that I can't even say his name because I don't want to put him at risk.
I built the first version of Facebook because it's something that my friends and I wanted to use at Harvard, a directory and a way to connect with the other people around us. And I didn't think at all that it was going to be a company. I remember very specifically the night that we launched the first version. I went out to get pizza with a couple of my friends who now work here. And, and I remember really clearly we were talking about how one day we thought that someone was going to build a community like this for the world, and that would be some company. Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't even an option that we considered that it might be us. I mean, we just weren't focused on building a company back then. We were just building something that we thought would be useful at our school. With Facebook, there was just such, people loved it, right? And had such an intensity of using it. I think within a couple of weeks, 2/3 of students at Harvard were using it. And all these other students at MIT and other local universities were writing in asking us if we could open up Facebook at their school. So we kind of just followed that.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.